Hello, my name is Chuck Orr. I'm a tribal member of the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians and a lifelong marketeer on the professional side. I'm really excited that I've had the opportunity to work with Jim at the Outdoor Stewards of Conservation Foundation and Peter Churchborn, who helped us tremendously with this research. What I'd like to do today is just kind of share for you some action items and some insights that I took away from the research that I think are important. First is that as a marketer, there's no better audience than one that is already in a consideration phase for a solution or an opportunity. And what we learned in the research is that Indian country and tribal members and people who associate themselves or identify themselves as Native American are predisposed and want to engage in shooting, hunting, and trapping activities. I mean, it's in our blood. And as a tribal member raised in that environment, I understood that, but I was really surprised at how much that stood out in the data. So here's a perfect audience for us to engage and to go out and kind of create recruitment opportunities and reactivation opportunities, because many of us hunted as children. And many in the Native community are distant from their tribes and don't have access to land and are looking for opportunities. So you're a perfect bridge to tribal members getting back to their roots and looking for those opportunities. And so that's the part two that I'd like to kind of highlight is the data clearly supports the idea that tribal members are predisposed to hunting, shooting, trapping. And it's the case that if you build a bridge to them, mentors within those tribes will help kind of build community and build a deeper understanding of those sports. So that's what I would encourage you to do, is look for those opportunities. In my own tribe, we have a natural link. We have a state Department of Natural Resources that works side by side with tribal members in a number of state funding conservation efforts. But there's no real bridge to recruiting other members to come in and hunt. And it's important that we take those opportunities where there are links to kind of drive activation. And we look to the state to do that themselves, to help kind of drive that initiative. Left alone, we're going to depend on tribal members, and we think that there's a real opportunity for you to apply resources and apply focus and the desire to create more participation. So be persistent too. In tribal governments or tribal families, you really got to stay consistent. Just because we're not answering doesn't mean we're not interested. Keep after them, build a relationship, show up where they're learning. Really go where the citizens are gathering, where they're learning, where they're celebrating, and share your message that you have resources for them, you want to help them, you want to work with them, and you'll see real results from your recruiting and reactivation efforts. To pass on a little bit more, I'd like to introduce you to Forrest Parker.
Thanks, Chuck. Forrest Parker, member of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. Really honored and privileged to play a small part in this project, and it means a lot to me to see the research and data that truly supports a lot of the things that we've been seeing and feeling and doing and trying to act upon in Indian country, for decades even. So really amazing to see this and utilize it in all the different ways we can. Very fortunate to be involved in a lot of different natural resource and outdoor heritage-based programs throughout Indian country, and have been fortunate enough to also have a fair crack at some R3 opportunities across the country and some national programs and all that good excitement. And what those lessons taught me, and basically you combine with everything that Chuck just says, and you look at this data, and there's really no secrets to some of us, and there's a lot of low-hanging fruit for state agencies to take a lead on something here. But I think that's the key, is that agencies are going to have to make that first move and be nimble and be adaptive on sometimes where it's headed and how to implement programs. I'll start with some of the recommendations that we've talked about and came up first, but you have to get into those tribal systems that Chuck is talking about. You have to build those relationships and build that trust, and without that, it doesn't exist. And so because we already have a pre-exposed population, a population who already knows more people participating than non-native populations, and so on and so on, the data is very, very consistent. Then we go back to mentorship. And so if we can build relationships from the agency level with the tribes, we can get into tribal systems, right? Then we can help implement resources and provide resources that then equip and empower those mentors. And these mentors are from these tribal communities. They're already trusted, they're already welcome, they're already accepted, they're friendly faces, they're known faces. And that is how our populations, especially our young populations, learn. Because doing such for us is just passing down traditions. It's passing down heritage in its most primitive and rightful form. And in this shape and form, it's a little different, but the values are the same. And those values are very unlike non-tribal systems. So you have to make the first move. You have to get in there. You have to tie that gap up from the youth into adulthood. And when those other adults are out of those kids' life, and show them that there's more activity, there's more opportunity in their entire region, in their entire state. And so I think that's a huge key. And we have to maintain that culture and those values back to those cultural systems, because that is what positions these populations in the manner that the data has proven that they are.